In order that on this day, National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, and during this month, Black History Month, that we have with us today someone who made history as America's first openly gay professional football player. During the past year, this man has served as a role model to other young men like himself, as an example of what it truly means to live within your personal truth. We are thrilled to have with us today Michael Allen Sam Jr. By living his truth, he has broken barriers and inspired many young LGBT persons across the country, particularly among his peers, young Black, gay, and bisexual men. Sam, a Texas native and a graduate of the University of Missouri-Columbia, was chosen as an All-American and shared the title of Southeastern Conference Defensive Player of the Year during the final year of his college career at the University of Missouri. A defensive end, he then became the first openly gay football player picked by the NFL team when the St. Louis Rams chose him during the league's 2004 draft. We have been asked on more than one occasion, why did you all select Michael Sam for your National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Brunch? Our reply to that is, why not? As a young African-American gay man, Michael Sam has demonstrated courage, tenacity, and strength, all the characteristics needed by anyone who finds himself generally classified as those people. The people who are Black, those people who are LGBT, those people who are at risk for HIV, those people who are living with HIV, and those people who care about how HIV is impacting our communities. Today, Michael Sam joins the ranks of other notable African Americans who care about how HIV and AIDS is impacting the African American community and who have spoken out about it. People like actor Idris Elba, Congressman Elijah E. Cummings, General Colin Powell, and yes, Shirley Ralph, just to name a few. It is with great honor and respect that I introduce to you today the unbroken Michael Allen Sam Jr.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me back there? Pretty good. Awesome. That's an awesome introduction. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to all the other speakers and especially the panelists. You guys did an amazing job. Good afternoon. I also want to apologize in advance because I have some stats here, and you came, I was like, I don't know if I was right. But so if they're inaccurate, I apologize if my stats are wrong, but dang. Well, when you look at Wikipedia, you know, like Ali, it's not always right. But anyways, good afternoon. Oh, thank you very much. It is a pleasure for me to be here today and on National Black Awareness HIV and AIDS. Put that up there. I want to thank Williams and Associates and all of you, of course, for allowing me to be here today. I was asked here today to talk about my story and my experience over the last year, and really over the course of 25 years I've been alive as a gay Black man. As we contemplate the meaning of this day and the fact that Black Americans still make up 40% of the population living with HIV, I think it's more important than ever that we, gay or bisexual Black men, speak up, understand our identities, and do everything we can to combat this disease. Recent data indicates that while Black men only make up about 1.5% of our population, we make up over 50% of new HIV/AIDS cases every year. Simply put, we need to break this cycle, and I am happy to be here today and be a part of this incredible, important conversation. The timing of today's event in early February is pretty appropriate for me considering where I was at this time doing a year ago. The last 12 months have been a very crazy roller coaster for me, but with mostly good, but I have experienced some adversity. At this time, a year ago, I made one of the biggest and most defining decisions in my life thus far, and that is when, February 9, 2014, I told the world that I was an African American, I was a college graduate, and I was a gay black man. So that was the first time. But really, it wasn't the decision at all. This is who I am, and I really see that. But this is who I am, and I am proud to be who I am. After concluding my senior season at Missouri, a storybook season that ended with me making a game-winning sack fumble in the Cotton Bowl, I soon realized that my identity as a gay black man, something that all my teammates and friends already knew. But as I entered the public domain, clearly it would change. As I journeyed through the very early steps in the draft process, I was frequently approached by members of the media who wanted to talk about my private life or tell my story. I knew what that meant, they knew what that meant, but nobody would come out and say it. When I was at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, there was no less than 10 members of the press there just for me. As I opposed to just covering the game, it was real. Either I was going to announce my truth to the world, or someone was going to cut me by the legs and do it for me. It was clear in that moment that I knew what I had to do. Telling my truth was something I've been comfortable with for some time. For the first time at University of Missouri, I told my teammates and my coaches that I was gay. And because of that reason because it was my last year at school, and I wanted to finally, in my first time in my life, I was very comfortable who I was. And it had a lot to do with, at that time, my ex-boyfriend, Vito, because living in a life of secrecy was horrible. We had to sneak, everything we had to do was very private. We had to sneak around. If we go out to dinner, we saw someone that we knew, we leave. One time on his birthday, we saw my head coach at this very nice restaurant. My head coach comes in, we left before we even ate dinner. It was very hard. And it was very difficult for both of us. And over that time, we had trouble. And because he was out and open and I wasn't. And it led to our breakup. And during that summer, I really felt comfortable. I was like, do I really want to live a life of secrecy and not owning up to who I really am? Or do I want to be comfortable with who I am and man up and just be proud that it's not a curse, it's just who I am. This is what I was born to be. I was born to be gay. And in a moment, it was a spontaneous moment where I stand in front of my team and my coaches and just told them I was gay. They wasn't expecting it. Did they already knew? Of course they did. But the first time in my life, I actually said I was gay. For the first time in my life, I said I was gay. My teammates, when we talked about stuff, they were just like, they knew, but I never said the words, I am gay, until that very moment. However, what was different about this was that I was about to enter the biggest unknown of my life, as I said, on the very doorstep of my lifelong dream, playing in the NFL. Telling your brothers, your friends, your family, that's one thing. Doing it with everything to lose in the world's largest stage between the biggest job interview in your life, that's something different. You don't just wake up early in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to go tell the world that I'm gay, even though we shouldn't have to. Through all this, talking to my friends, my team, and my fiance, Vito, I kept going back to one thing, living my life the right way. I never wanted to look in the mirror or put my head in the pillow at the end of the day and think I wasn't true to my inner self or not being true to myself. I looked at the countless examples of people I've seen, heard, or read about that tried to live a lie. I went back to my very decision to come out to Vito and eventually to my teammates in August. This is who I am comfortable with that, I love myself. Love of yourself, respect of yourself, and understand yourself. These aren't the easy things to accomplish, but trust me, nothing is more vital to the human experience. When that fateful day took place on February 9, 2014, I wasn't nervous, I wasn't scared, I wasn't even hesitant anymore. The world would do what they want, do with me what they may, but I had the love of others and of those around me, close to me, and the love of myself, and that was enough. We've come a long way as a society when it comes to us members of the LGBT community, but it seems that only in the past few years have sports begun to follow suit. A lot of people said I was entering into a hornet's nest, a world that wasn't ready for me, and that I should be prepared for a rude awakening. Well, I got news for you. My teammates, my coaches, and everyone I ever interacted with respected me as a human being, not as a gay football player. They respected me as a human being. We have to give people a chance to show what they're made of. And I have several teammates, coaches, and front office people really stepped up while I was with the Rams and the Cowboys. All it takes was giving them a chance just like they gave me. A chance I am also looking for again. And as I stand here now, a free agent, still chasing my dream, I constantly have to remind myself as the same self-love I just discussed not too long ago, so I can get back to my pursuit of my professional dreams and aspirations. That needs to be enough for all of us here today. The decisions we make should begin and end with self-respect, dignity, and self-love. Because of all of the ups and downs I've experienced in the last year, on and off the football field, none of them rival in trials and tribulations that so many African-American gay men face every day living with HIV and AIDS. We need to be educated, be smart, and be safe about this disease. But all of that starts with self-respect, dignity, and love for each other, every one of ourselves. I believe we are all worth it. Each and every person out there, each young black life, you have the whole world in front of you, no matter what your age, your job, and your health. People that demonstrate a lot of courage, people say that I demonstrated a lot of courage of what I did. Look out at the people here, and I see a whole lot of courage in this room. And that it took for me to do what I did last February. To those out there who do not have the disease, love yourself enough to make the right choices, and let's collectively drive these statistics into the ground as we move into the future. In conclusion, to those fighting the disease, be strong, keep up your fight, and love yourself. Even more in this moment, we are all with you. Thank you, and God bless. Open up to some Q&A. I'm gonna tell you what, I was more nervous here than I was a few months ago. So I apologize if I had some stutters, but I'm only human, so. Guy is dying over there. So I'm open up to some Q&A. If you want to ask me anything, want to answer, do I have a dog? I'll answer no. Yes, sir.
How had it changed from last year when you came out to be the first openly gay, going into the NFL now? Like, what has life been like from the transition now?
I am constantly under the spotlight, like constantly. It's crazy, and everything I do, and because of social media now, I mean, you're one tweet away and for the whole world, because once you tweet something, you can't take it back. The whole world is so I'm constantly under the spotlight, and it's tough. That means I'm not one of the persons. I'm not perfect. I mean, I go out, I like to twerk and all that stuff. So I do all that stuff, but I do have to have make sure that my friends that I'm with watch my back, watch me. You know, people are like, I'm out there in the public. People are looking, and you know, if you do something wrong, just when you go out, just assume someone's watching you. And that's why every time I go out, I just assume someone's going to have a camera or something, just assume. So I like to carry myself the right way, like I have always been doing my entire life. But as in for my role as when I first come, and I mean no disrespect, but when I first came out, I thought I was like, had to come out before someone did it for me. So I had no idea. No, like, I'm serious. I had no idea what kind of storm I would have created. I had no idea. Who couldn't foresee something like that? Yeah. And so I was on the mind, I'm just going to come out and then I'm just going to start playing football. But it changed things. I mean, we have President Obama send you, you know, oh man, this is a real deal. But so, in the beginning, I didn't really know my role. I mean, I was like, well, I don't know what to do. This is just who I am. What can I do to others? And someone told me, I can't remember the person because she just came up to me. It was so random. But she said, you don't have to, because it was in this kind of like a little speech I gave earlier. And she said, you don't have to do anything just by being you. You change so many people just by being you. I don't know if that answers your question. I went all over. I got ADD. I'll be all scatterbrained. Yes, ma'am. My family support. Where is that like? Well, you know.
I'm a very supportive mom.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, my family support is not there. My mother, because of her religion, does not accept homosexuality. My dad, who I'm not going to get to there, but my father, who I do not speak to at this moment, I still love my parents, and I love my dad, even though he has some things to say. He's trying to play neutral in a situation that was very, you know, I was kind of some moments, and we're not all strong. If people think they're strong, we're all in some way weak, and we need the strength of others to make us strong. And in that moment, I needed my dad, and I thought, you know, he would be there for me, but he played in a neutral moment, and I don't talk to him right now. But I still love him, but I can love him from afar. So,
well, now you have a bigger family.
But as for my family, growing up, I chose my family as my friends. Our friends are the family that we can choose. And I am very, so like when my friends don't return my text, I'll get mad. Don't return I know you, I saw you read that. I saw you read it, so you're not, so.